Welcome back. Stand in the middle. We're gonna have another episode discussing monogamy or situationships. And I'm torn on the subject a little bit where I thought I was solid on it. And now I'm hearing from friends and people that know folks that's dealt in situationships that maybe that's a new way of doing things. At least it is for enough of us that it's worth talking about. Um, I'm not open to it necessarily, but I'm not completely closed off by it. Trying to give my opinion on it when I haven't been in a situationship, at least to my knowledge, is probably a little ill-fated, but I'm going to give what I
Okay,
think.
so what do you classify situationships as? I think that's the fundamental question here. What's considered a situationship and what's considered monogamy to you? Because I think that's the problem. We don't have clear definitions, or we're warping the definitions. There are clear definitions. We're warping the definitions to fit what we want to do in our relationships. I think that's the bigger issue.
To fulfill our own narrative.
Yeah, to make you feel good about yourself. That's what it is. So what is your idea of monogamy? And then I guess give us your example of a situationship or what you believe that to be.
I don't know. I think a situationship would be where you don't define clear boundaries of what you expect your relationship to be with a person you're involved with. And I don't know, situations always sexual? Is it mental?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what I think, if you're asking me. By the way, this is Nia-Semone from Perfect Purpose TV. In my day and age, I'm in the 25 to 30, 20 to 30 range. And for me, in my generation, situationships are relationships that aren't relationships. It's when you're doing all the things that you benefit from a relationship, but there's no clear title, meaning it absolves you from any real responsibility, but you get the benefits of a real relationship.
Friends with benefits.
Basically, exactly. So it's friends with benefits in some ways. And so what I feel like is that gets very messy. Now, personally, I subscribe to monogamous relationships and the traditional, and let me not say traditional because everybody has their own definition, in the purest sense of the word, relationship. I think where we're getting messed up is that we're changing our definitions of love to, like I said, fit a narrative that doesn't serve anybody. It's a quick fix, and it ultimately implodes. Those situationships never work out. We all know that.
Do they not never work out, though?
I mean, you're satisfied.
The Goldie
But I'm
Hawn.
saying, what do we consider working out? Working out, it would be marriage or commitment. And the whole idea of situationships is that you avoid marriage and commitment. So maybe it is working out.
Does Stedman and Oprah have a situationship that worked out? Because they never married, or they never.
No, but they have a relationship.
Oh, okay. So
like we know them to be each other's partners. There's no situation.
You're right, and you can have monogamy. You can have a monogamous relationship with someone and not be married to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's a clear definition, a clear line.
But if I'm in a situationship with someone, and I'm only having any intimacy, emotional, physical with that person, isn't a situationship the same as monogamy until I decide with that person to move on to somebody else? Do I have to have less trust to be in a situationship?
I think the issue with these situationships versus monogamy is that both parties aren't clear that they're in situationships. If you are, then that's all cool. It works. It works perfectly. If the lines are clear, we're an understanding of what we are, or better yet, what we aren't, then there's nothing that really can come there, or there's nothing that really can be said. When you feel like a boundary or emotional thing has been crossed by that partner, there's nothing you really can say because y'all both in agreement that that's the relationship you're in. I think the problem comes with situationships or buddies or friends with benefits is that the things that y'all are doing are things that people in relationships do, and they do that because those things link you, they connect you, meaning you form attachment. But like I said, a lot of the times one person out of that part of a relationship gains feelings that no longer make it a situationship. It's a relationship for them. And if we're being real, it was always a relationship.
So situationship, I can have multiple partners, and monogamy,
that's the idea.
I can't.
That's the idea. But some people would say I'm monogamous to, what is it, polyamorous? I'm monogamous to multiple people. It's just to
I think I
partners.
prefer monogamy, but if I get with a person that just wants a situationship with looser bonds of attachments, then I could be open to that, only to the extent where she only deals with me and only me while we both agree.
Yeah, but that is not what, that's not a situationship. What you're saying is you want her to be monogamous to you, and you to not be monogamous to her, and to be open in a situationship with her and other people. So if you're expecting monogamy from that one person,
I'm allowing for her to be that way, but I would actually prefer to be monogamous with the person I'm monogamous with. Like, I don't want to swap spit.
So if you're monogamous with the person that you're monogamous with, that means you're monogamous.
With everybody.
That means you're in a monogamous relationship. If you're in an open relationship, it's open on both ends.
Well, that's not
and if it's not open on both ends, then you're not in an open relationship. You're in a situationship.
Well, I know I heard that before. So an open relationship is the modern day version. No, situationship is the modern day version of an open relationship. They've been doing that for years.
I wouldn't even call it an open relationship. These people aren't saying that they're together. They're just having sex and saying, "Oh, I'll have sex with you. We'll do the things that we do in a relationship. We can cuddle, but when you don't expect it from me. I have no loyalty to you.
Oh,
it's an empty. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing holding. If I don't want to today, there's nothing you can say. That's the idea. We're both agreeing that there's nothing you can say or do, regardless of how much emotions you have behind it. That should affect that, and you should know not to come to me with your emotions because we're not in a relationship, so they're not valid. And so that's a lot of the times is what happens in these situations, and it's honestly just messy, right? If you want to go sleep around and have one night stands, go do that. But that's not what you want. You actually want somebody to hug you and kiss on you and love on you. That's called a relationship. Stop fooling yourself. Stop fooling ourselves into thinking something's not. And if it is a situation, then make it a situationship that y'all agree on. But if you're doing something that your situation didn't agree on or doesn't have knowledge of, you're just screwing around and you're lying to that person. And when both people don't know what they're getting into, it's not an honest agreement.
Well, some people understand they're getting in an open relationship, though.
Okay, well, I doubt they have problems. I doubt those people have 10. Everybody wants to play pretend.
But I think what I'm saying is, if a situationship defines itself the same way I defined it, and we both agree that that's what it is, then I'm allowed to be okay in that without anyone else's judgment.
Nobody cares about the judgment to begin with. Nobody. Have you not noticed that? We're in our judgment means nothing. You can't stone anybody in today's society. So even if it was wrong to have 40 husbands, who's going to stone you? Even if it was wrong to have a whole bunch of wives, that's where it comes into moral. Your moral compass, where it comes from, go back to that, because we're misrouting loyalty, honesty, accountability. These things are being switched and turned any type of ways to where we're all just deceptive people.
So situationships, there's no loyalty to people agreeing to have a situationship.
They can agree to have it. That's the only loyalty that the idea of a situationship lies. That y'all agree that y'all will mess with each other when you want to. When you don't want to, the agreement is that you don't have to. Whereas in a relationship,
a married couple can be in a monogamous relationship with each other, supposedly, and have situationships on the side. Wow, that is messy.
They can't. That's called cheating. Right? You're not having a situationship on the side. You have a side hole compass. You're cheating. You were in a monogamous relationship. Then you stepped out of the monogamous relationship and started another relationship with someone else, even if you just slept with them. Because sleeping with them is the ultimate thing to do. That immediately becomes not monogamous.
Yeah, I get that, but I think everybody that gets in relationships of any sort don't always be as forthright about discussing the boundaries of those relationships. Maybe we should do that.
And that's the point. You shouldn't get into a relationship. You shouldn't call it a situationship because there's no clear idea of what y'all are agreeing to. That's my point. But don't sit here and people are trying to sit here and switch and turn around what monogamy is. No, that's no switch away. You in that are together, and in whatever ways that y'all agreed to, whether it was physically, whether it was marriage, whether it was spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is, y'all agreed that y'all would do that.
Can you be emotionally?
Or those three people would do that. Y'all monogamous to each other, whoever it is, whatever monogamous relationship y'all are, you're agreeing to that covenant.
This is something I thought about too, because can a situationship not have physicality? Can you be emotionally in a situationship?
I think that's called polyamorous people or something like that.
No, just be emotionally attached to somebody. Like, call somebody just to talk to them. Like, be each other's counselor.
Well, let me ask you this, Betty. If you're in a
relationship...
if
I'm in a relationship with somebody and it's a monogamous relationship physically, but emotionally, I feel like I need to go talk to someone. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's a best friend. Aren't you emotionally cheating on the person if you're supposed to be with them physically in a monogamy, but not emotionally? You can't.
know the answer to that.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
The answer is what it feels like. If you felt like you needed to hide you seeking other intimacies, whether it was spiritual, emotional, or physical, and you vowed in a covenant and agreed with this person to be in this monogamous relationship, then you're stepping out of it to find that fulfillment somewhere else, then you know that is an act of cheating or breaking trust and breaking loyalty at the least. If the other person doesn't know you're stepping out of that frame of reference, then that's deception. That's not what we agreed.
Yeah, I don't do situationships that I know about.
No, I mean, I'm saying not a lot of people do. It's a lot of times that's the issue. We're not honest with ourselves, let alone to be honest with somebody we sleep with or most intimate with each other, which is absolutely insane. You would think the other one would come first before you get intimate with somebody, but people are so bad at expressing their emotions. We'd rather hurt each other, break ourselves, than actually be open and honest about the person we chose. Somebody forced us. We chose to make our partner for the purpose of open and honest communication. So I think that's what it is for me.
I think some people are virtuous when it comes to trying to have interpersonal relationship with somebody else.
Fit people.
But I'm finding out from people I talk to, friends and others, that some people start out with deception as a primary motivation.
Oh, yeah.
And those people don't gel well with the person that doesn't know they're being deceived. And so maybe that's why we have all these different relationships.
That's why you see all these young men and all these young women so heartbroken on the internet and talking about how terrible the dating world is. We don't love our neighbor. We don't love our partners. Some people are more loyal to their friend than the mother of their child.
Or their dogs.
Some people are more loyal to washing their car on a weekly basis than they are to their spouse. Some people tell everybody their entire business and then have a side piece for years and decades. So there are people who want to just have situations because they just want to find that whatever it is in them, they need it filled quick and easy. They don't have to deal with all the extra stuff, so they go in those. But I think what I think my problem is here is I don't disagree with those people who live that lifestyle. I disagree with the deception of trying to make it seem like you're in something else that you're not. Like, I don't like people who deceive people open and honest when it comes to like matters of behavior too, because it doesn't hurt just them. It really does hurt your heart.
It's a new thing, so it's information age. So monogamy is boring to a lot of folks, and they don't want to get bogged down with 60% divorce rates.
That's cool. Go be with those other people who are like you. Stop lying. I don't get what we're so. Our culture glorifies being lying cheaters. Glorifies it. You rarely ever see good posts about being a honest, nice woman, a cute. They literally shame guys, call them simps for being good to their women. Their women. Good to a woman. They got girls over here talking about, you a pick me, because they want to be good to their man. Y'all are supposed to love each other. It's weird that y'all love everybody. That's what's weird. It's weird that you're willing to give the most intimate parts of yourself to everybody and deceive the people who willingly gave it to you yourself.
I think weird people are saying that weird people want to love other weird people.
Of course. Everybody wants to be loved.
Yeah.
The people who are cheaters want to be loved.
Yeah, so I'm saying those people that glorify situationships may have been hurt in monogamy.
Of course.
And so now they want to find solace in situationships that don't have the attachments that you're saying are virtuous.
They can. Abusers shouldn't become the abused shouldn't become the abusers. Go find those situationships with situationship people.
Yeah, but I mean, Alcohol Anonymous is a room full of drunk people. Some people like being around people that are like them. And so those people still want a relationship.
I would argue that
the situationships, you can go in expecting not to be hurt.
And still come out hurt because you're not in a situationship. That's my point. You're actually in a relationship that you don't want to define. You don't want to define it because the truth hurts.
But can we have a relationship that doesn't get defined?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an undefined relationship.
Okay, so that right there is.
But stop calling it monogamy though. Stop saying, I'm just cheat. I'm in a monogamous relationship. My girl, I just cheat on her, or I'm in a monogamous relationship. That's to know about it, and so as long as he don't know, find out, then I'm monogamous. I'm
literally trying to give credence to both mindsets.
There is
without the situationship, because I think that term didn't come from men. I think it came from women defining what you just said.
I think it came from society seeing what it actually is, and we always have to find something to classify ourselves to make us feel better. That's what all these names and all these different groups are for now, to make us feel good about being who we are, whether it's good or bad. And that's what I think. I would.
You're saying we're throwing labels on everything like we do on everything we buy.
We're rebranding it.
We're rebranding.
Yeah.
We're rebranding hurt. We're rebranding open relationships. We're rebranding.
Yeah, because in actuality, y'all were in a real relationship. Did you not hear what I said? Y'all did everything that people in relationships did except call it one. So you rebranded because it's not quite that.
Was an open relationship ever really a relationship?
No. It was, and it wasn't. That's the point. They did everything relationships did, but we don't want to call it that because
they kept sliding down the slippery slope.
And now we're here to, like I said, people are glorifying hurting the people we love the most and then thinking that there's no repercussions for that. And so now you have two people who hate each other will go near each other. I'm talking about, like, you got toxic women, you got toxic men all over the internet spewing their little discussions about this, that, and third, about cheating and being faithful, what's a good man, what's a bad man, what sexual preferences you have, what marital statuses, all types of nonsense. And what it comes from is a place of hurt and deception. And mistrust. We don't trust each other. We don't even trust people we sleep with our hearts, but you trust them with your body. That's why the divorce rate is so high.
You can't get divorced if you're in a situationship.
You also can't get married.
No judge.
Yeah, it's a losing battle. Let's just love each other, open and honest. And if you're not able to do that, go find someone who's okay. There's so many people okay with this type of situation you're talking about. You don't need to fool anybody. You really don't. Everything that you're looking at under the sun exists now because we kept sliding down that slope. It exists now. You could be the father of someone's child, live under the same roof as them, have birthed other children from them, and then be like, that's not my family, that's my baby mama.
I don't know. That wasn't my situation, but
I know, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you'll do everything that it is except rise to the occasion of what you actually are. Makes you feel good, and everybody wants to feel good. Heck, everybody does it. I'm not saying nobody, and I'm not saying the people who don't want it in a relationship are any less better than people who want one. I'm just saying, like, we should call spades spades all around, like if you all around, like just let it be known. You'll save yourself a lot less trauma, and we'll have a lot more healed people. Because when you do it that long and you sneak around like that, and then the person finds out on their own accord, it just makes damaged people who go around doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but I think we got a lot of damaged people if we're calling relationships situationships. because we had to morph ourselves to take and deal with all the people that are no longer in relationships, monogamous relationships, or any
people
other.
Want to hold on to people, like I said, to switch them in and out like army knives.
Like a switch army knife?
Yeah. And that's all cool and dandy, but like
those things were pretty popular when I was a kid.
Let everybody
use any
know.
knife you need to do anything you needed to do. Okay, I don't know that I found out any more about situationships as opposed to monogamous relationships, other than I do think monogamy's for me, but I'm trying not to be judgmental of the people that think situations work for them. But I think we have a clear perspective on what you're saying, that you can be one or the other, but be honest in either.
Which do you feel like better suits today's society? Are we a society of situationships? Or are we a society of monogamy? I know it sounds good, and I know what we all pick and lie to each other to be.
But a large segment of our society have chose to be in monogamous relationships, and all those dissolve into divorces.
Because they're actually in situationships. They're stepping out of the relationship all of the time, and you're turning your monogamous relationship to a situationship because you're listening to everybody on the internet, unhappy. Right? These people who are telling you these things, a lot of times they're unhappy and they're divorced. And they're telling you about it's okay to cheat on this person, cheat on that person, all this and all of that. And if they don't find out, then it's cool. Yeah, just be honest about what you want. It'll probably save you a lot more trouble. Heck, you don't even know. Maybe your partner wants that too.
And there you go. Let's call it that. And agree to disagree or agree to agree. Either way, you guys have a nice one. Talk to you later.